That is just disgusting. I hate enemies. What do you mean, you sick freak? Stop making me do this. Just let me go.
I only need my last victim. Then I'll let go of your poor innocent soul.
No.
Hey everyone, the name is Derek. I know I'm a random live streamer, but I need you to hear this story. You can skip me right now if you want, but what I want you to do is do not get the Dark Red quest from Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, the shooter game. Why? Let me explain. The story begins with me and my group of buddies. We play the Garden Warfare 2. Like modes we love to play. Gardens and Graveyard Ops, Turf Takeover, and Team Vanquish. We also chatted about how fun the game is, but one of my friends mentioned something on the news about a guy named Thomas Wilson. He had a mysterious disappearance as no one knows exactly what happened to him. It was a weird disappearance since this isn't just a normal disappearance like he was kidnapped or something. He was really gone out of thin air. But again, I don't believe this odd disappearance and how it was described. Neither do my friends, since someone could have faked it, right? It was a weird and interesting discussion we had, but after the round, we headed back to the backyard. One of my friends decided to get a quest from Garden Ops, so he can get stars and pins. However, my friend said something. He had a quest for the Coliseum to complete in normal difficulty, but it had more stars and pins than any other quest. But the strange thing was that it was a dark red color. We were surprised. We told him to take the quest out of curiosity if this was a glitch in the game or an actual real thing that PopCap was given to all players. Of course, we should have expected something much more worse. We hopped into Garden Ops. Dave was silent and he didn't say anything until he said 2 words, "Turn back." Then he was gone. We didn't know what to think about this, as the rest of us headed towards the garden to plant it, but when we did, it looked damaged, like it was in a poor, weakened state. It had half of its health, which was unusual. We looked at our friend that we told to grab the quest, and we asked, "Did you know this would happen?" And he said, "No, not at all." He seemed nervous a bit from what could happen, as all of us seemed very nervous, including myself. I didn't know what on earth was going on. This didn't seem normal. Dave came back and said, "You should have turned back. I warned you, they are coming." He left. As the first wave started, we didn't see any zombies yet, and there was no music. Until a minute later, something came out slowly, but this was something we have never seen before. It looked like a disfigured version of a plant. It was smiling with a bloody mouth. It had long, sharp black claws coming from its body, including with black hollow eyes that had red pupils in them. They looked like they were staring into our souls, just shaking. It didn't move. It just stood there watching us. One of my pals decided to shoot at this unusual looking deformed plant. It suddenly got angry and aggressive when it got shot as it let out a loud, piercing, crying screech, like a wolf howling on the full moon. As we got startled by that loud, ghostly noise, we slowly heard the music being reversed into a weird, creepy tone, as the track sounded like pounding and screaming. We saw other rotten plants joining in like him. There were rotten pea shooters, chompers, sunflowers, and cacti, you name it. They all looked at us like a threat, as suddenly, all of them charged forward like a pack. As with our skills in graveyard ops and garden ops, we of course fought them off. But they are more difficult than brown coats. We have to stick together in order to fend them off the garden. We will swim like never before. Not like we were tryhards, but more of swim of what would happen if we lost or anything. As those rotten plants, those rotten plants gave us fear into our hearts. Just the way they move, like they wanted to be shot. After the first wave, we set up defenses to make sure that those weird-looking plants would just slow down, as this was too much for us, even for me. The group was scared at this point, since we were supposed to fight browncoats, not rotting plants. The next wave started, as we continued to fight these hordes of deformed plants that never seemed to stop coming. As they were at full force during the 4 waves, we fought against these rotting, soulless plants with pure blood and sweat. And what made it worse is that these rotting plants would scream painfully after being defeated. After the 4th wave, we knew it was the boss wave, but we didn't know what to expect from this, since the bosses could be much more worse than they already were. Like a rotten torchwood or queen sunflower would be just a mess. But when the wave started, Zomboss was gone and replaced by this deformed brown coat that was tall and slender. His face was deformed while frowning with a bloody, crooked teeth. His back was bent so far that you can see his spine. The zombie said,
"Turn back, please, before it's too late."
The dialogue changed, including his posture. His melty look was gone, but what was more creepy was the frown formed into a bloody smile. He said,
"You are all my prey, my last horse."
There was a sound of laughter before it went silent. The music was silent. The only thing that was said from this wave was, "Good luck on your souls." As there was only one zombie, it was him. We stood our ground, but even so, he was tough. So were we. Any time this monster slashed at us, we would also feel the pain that he dealt to us. Despite the fact it was a video game, it was either life or death in this battle of a horrific zombie. It was slashing at us while we used our best abilities as plants. However, despite our best efforts, my friends were killed off one by one. The only person that was left was me. My friends were screaming in pain before they were cut off. They were unrevivable. The monster came closer to me, about to catch his last prey, before suddenly, out of panic, I break my PC with my fist completely. It finally shut off. However, there was one last words said from my speakers. They said,
"You won't escape this truly, Derek."
before it finally cut off. What did that monster meant by that? I escaped from this monster. There was no possible way. I just couldn't believe it that I would just die. And now, 3 months later, I'm talking about this story to all of you. I was the first to escape this monster that was relieved. This made me lost my friends though. And this is really why you shouldn't grab this red quest. Just don't grab it, please. Whatever you do, just don't